All right, so have you ever been scrolling through your feed and just wondered, how does it know exactly what I want to see? Well, you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving deep into automated recommendation systems. This is a really critical topic for your Mumbai University social media analytics exam, so pay close attention. We're going to focus on that key difference between traditional and social systems, and by the end of this, you'll be all set to nail that question.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll cover the basics of what these systems are all about. Then, we'll look at the techniques they use behind the scenes. After that, it's time for the main event, comparing traditional versus social systems head to head. And to top it all off, we'll put together the perfect exam-ready answer for you.
Okay, let's start from the very beginning. What in the world is an automated recommendation system? Here it is, your textbook perfect definition. The key phrase here is automatically suggest content. Whether it's a video, a product, or an article, these systems analyze what we do online, our digital footprint, to figure out what to show us next. You can think of them as these invisible engines that personalize our entire online experience. So, how does it actually work? Well, it's basically a four-step dance. Step 1, the system collects your data, every like, view, and search. Step 2, it analyzes all that data to spot patterns and figure out what you're into. Step 3, it applies some pretty smart algorithms to process those patterns. And finally, step 4, it generates those personalized recommendations that just pop up on your screen. And this simple diagram, it shows that whole process perfectly. Just think of it like this. Your data is the input, the system's algorithm does all the processing in the middle, and a personalized recommendation is the output. This is a fantastic, simple visual to draw in your exam answer. Okay, so let's pop the hood and look at the different engines that actually power these recommendations. There are two main techniques you absolutely have to know for your exam. First on the list is content-based filtering. And, the name kind of gives it away. It's all about the content you've looked at before. The system checks out the properties of stuff you've liked in the past and then goes looking for other things with similar properties. The keyword to remember here is you. It's all based on your own personal history. For example, let's say you go on a YouTube binge and watch a bunch of videos about Python. The algorithm sees that and thinks, aha, this person is definitely into coding. So what happens next? Your feed starts filling up with more videos on Python, maybe some on Java or just software development in general. It's a direct mirror of your own actions. Now for the second type, collaborative filtering. This is where things get really interesting because the focus shifts. It's not just about you anymore. It's about the collaboration of data from lots and lots of users. The system finds people who have similar tastes to you and then recommends things that they liked. It's kind of like finding your taste twins online. This is that classic people who bought this also bought logic that you see literally everywhere. If you watch movie A and the system knows that thousands of other people who also watched movie A ended up loving movie B, it's a pretty safe bet that you might like it too. It's using the power of the crowd to predict what you'll enjoy next. Okay, here we are. This is the heart of the topic and probably the core of your exam question. What is the crucial difference between traditional and social recommendation systems? So a traditional system uses those two techniques we just talked about, content-based and collaborative filtering. Its entire world is basically just you and the items. Your friends, your followers, what they think. To a traditional system, none of that even exists. And you can see it in this diagram. The flow of data is super direct. It's a one-way street. Your data goes into the system, and a recommendation pops out. Notice there's nothing else influencing it. It's just a closed loop between you and the algorithm. A social system, on the other hand, adds a whole new, game-changing layer of data into the mix. Your social network. It's not just asking, what do you like? It's also asking, hey, what do the people you actually know and trust like? Now, just look at how the flowchart changes here. See that huge addition on the left? It's not just user data going in anymore. The system is now also getting data from your social connections, your friends. And adding that extra layer of information completely changes the game. So let's put these two systems right next to each other. This should make the differences totally crystal clear. Asking the question this directly is the best way to frame our answer. So let's break it down using a really simple and effective table. Okay, this table really just lays it all out nice and simple. Let's walk through it together. So first up, look at the data source. A traditional system, it's just using your data and data about the item itself. But the social system, it adds that game-changing layer, your social network. Now, because of that, the focus is totally different. Traditional systems are all about your personal preferences. Social systems, though, they're looking at your relationships. And that leads to the final point, influence. With a traditional system, it's all about the algorithm. But with a social system, you get this really powerful new factor, social influence. Let's make this real with some examples you see every day. Netflix is the perfect example of a traditional system. Its recommendations are all about your watch history and the viewing history of millions of other anonymous users. Instagram, though, is a classic social system. When it shows you a reel because your friend liked it, that recommendation just feels different, right? It comes with this extra layer of trust, almost like a tip from someone you actually know.
And here is a fantastic little memory trick for your exam. If you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this. Traditional recommends what you like. Social recommends what your friends like. It's a super simple, super powerful way to remember the main difference. All right, we've reached the final, and let's be honest, the most important part. Let's actually build that perfect 2-paragraph answer that's going to get you full marks in your exam. Your first paragraph needs to define a traditional system nice and clear. So you'll want to state what it is, mention those key techniques we talked about, content-based and collaborative filtering, and this part is crucial. You have to explicitly say that it does not take social relationships into account.
Then, in your second paragraph, you'll introduce the social system as the next step, as an evolution. Explain that it enhances the whole process by adding in social network data from friends and followers. And definitely be sure to use keywords like personalized and trust-based that shows you really get why it's different and better. So to wrap it all up, what's the big takeaway here? Really, it's all about the evolution from just plain data to actual relationships. Think of it this way. Traditional systems care about what the data says you like. Social systems take that a huge step further by asking, well, what do the people you actually trust like? And that distinction, it's absolutely fundamental to understanding social media analytics. That's pretty much everything you need for this topic. Go out there and crush those exams. Good luck.